I was really confused because no one told us what was going on. We didn't have a TV or a radio. We were just I was just starting to see people wearing face masks and people just like not coming near you. People were scared. There was a panic. And the police and the council went around and told all us homeless people that we had to move out, get out, that there was something really big happening in the world and that it wasn't safe for us to be in the city. It was contaminated. Half of us got motels, half of us got forgotten. I was one of those that chose to buy a tent and go to Hampton, set it up, and that's when I found out about this disease, this thing going around, this bug that had been released into life. I didn't have no knowledge of it. I didn't have a phone. Everything was closed, so I couldn't get information. I had to rely on the word of other people, which was confusing because you got different stories from different people.
Donald Trump was saying, just fucking get some bloody bleach and, you know, blast some sunlight up your ass. And pardon me. You know that moment where the lockdown ended for like about 5 days? I was here, painting like fucking mad, you know. I tried to keep painting. Like I swore to myself I'd keep up the like one painting a day kind of mantra, but it didn't happen. And then I started to try and go out to paint in the park, but it, like I said, it took months before I was brave enough to like even actually stay in the park for 2 hours like you're sort of allowed to. I could never figure out what is painting pictures, is that like a fitness pursuit? You know, it's the only fitness I do. That lockdown finished, and then I'm pretty sure I got COVID. It's my theory is some people were like young dudes come and fucking cough on me, like, you know, bronchitis cough. Sorry, dude. Like, as bad as it sounds, making a living is part of what motivates like my creativity. Like, it's like I'm also really paranoid about breaking rules. I guess because I went to jail on remand for a driving charge once, and like so I kind of came up with this philosophy of rule breaking kind of being wrong even if you don't think it's actually wrong. Yeah, I just do what I do, and you know, I figure you get struck by lightning if you do like the wrong shit, you know. I thought about doing some really wrong shit a couple of times and just bang, it collapsed on the fucking footpath basically, just like not literally struck by lightning, but okay, that's better than doing that. I won't do that. I won't even think about that ever again. You know.
COVID, mate, they just literally stuck all either drug addicts and people from jail in really nice hotels, and they had no respect for it whatsoever. Ibis on King Street, they were a 5-star hotel, yeah? COVID happened, they went from a 5-star hotel to they had the worst thing ever. Basically, the police were there every 10 minutes. They should have just set up a tent and had police there all the time. That's where where that dude died in my arms, the Ricky Rowland stabbing that happened 2 years ago. That was me that they had blurred out in the captions down the bottom. He died in my arms. 35 people sat there and watched him bleed out, and me and my dog were the only person that went and actually did anything. The first stab wound paralysed him instantly. The second stab wound, I literally had to hold his guts in his face, but the third stab wound, she literally stabbed him in the head, and he bled out and died. And my dog came over, licked his face, and then she was doing that for a couple of minutes, and then next thing you know, she just put her paws down, put her head on top of her paws, and just stopped wagging her tail and just went all sooky. And then 30 seconds later, they pronounced him dead.
I was over the Philippines doing Typhoon Yolanda. And when I got back, they had sold the house. And when I got back in here, I had a paper from the government to go and do that. Because I used to be a street worker here. And I got sent over there with the Red Cross, and when I got back, the house was sold and they left me out here. I just stayed out here because I was used to working on the streets, so I knew how to survive. Since COVID, the government made a funding. Certain people get put into housing commission. Not every single person on the street was offered that. A lot of people were dying on the street. It made no difference to me. I've been fully vaccinated, so I don't care. And I'm safe. The only thing I haven't had is my second booster, but I'll have to have that eventually. It's safer with the police on the street, yeah, to a point. But it's not safe with the drugs out there. Does that make sense? Well, look at how much it costs us for one person in a hotel for, say, 3 nights. That's nearly enough to pay for a bond. Good point. And that's only for 3 nights. 3 to 4 nights. If they were to find housing and give them a worker, the problem wouldn't be there after day one, would it?
I don't remember her name. But yeah, I got to meet her and she took me out to lunch. She drove all the way down to be with me. I got to meet her dog. Then she explained the situation and I felt for her. I felt that the Lord sent her my way and we crossed paths for a reason. I just didn't know that she wanted to pay me to get her vaccinations. When I found that out and the reasons why she couldn't get her vaccinations, and she'd been with the company for 16 years and they were just going to sack her because she had a heart condition that she was too scared to have the vaccinations, I did her a favour and I took on board her vaccinations after I had mine. I went to a chemist on Elizabeth Street with her Medicare card. She was 58. I believe that people knew what was going on but couldn't prove it. They Yeah, they took me in, they gave me the first shot, everything was all right. She paid me $300, and then a couple of weeks later she came back down. She gave me $500 to do the second. And I did. And I've had complications from that since. Every morning I wake up and I have curdled clumps and yellow bile and dry reach. Every day I'm doing that. First thing I wake up in the morning, I can't have a coffee, I can't have food, I can't eat, I can't do anything until this feeling of, it's not anxiety, but this uncomfortable feeling I get, and it's in my tummy, abdomen pains. I get shortness of my breath. I can't run no more. I feel like I'm dying, and I get constant migraines. I now believe it was wrong because she knew what she was inflicting upon my life and didn't care. And she's seen that I was in a vulnerable situation, and she used money as a way of getting what she wanted and didn't care about the outcome of me. Not once. She knows where I am, and not once has she come down to see if I'm okay after having those shots. It's full on, really full on. I thought she was a friend and she was going to be a friend for life. But I was a stepping stone and I didn't know it. I was a stepping stone in her life, not in mine. And now I've affected my life. And I can't blame anyone but myself. Others have wrecked it for genuine people. There are real, genuine homeless people that are in need of things. And then there are people that choose to be homeless. There's a difference. Big difference. I could tell you the people that like what they do and like how they live, and I could tell you the people that are genuinely dying to stay afloat, that cry themselves to sleep every night. Why me? Why me? What have I done so bad in life to be punished? I'm one of them. I absolutely hate the fact that I'll bend over backwards and I'll do anything and everything for anyone and not care about the repercussions. But no one's there for me, ever, ever. When I need something, I'm not the type of person that will ask. I will find a way to get it done, because as human beings, there's nothing we can't do. We tell ourselves we can't, but we can do anything. We're miraculous, we're beautiful, and we're still growing. There are so much more. There's so much more in life that I wish to do, and I believe I've cut my life short due to COVID. And if I had the information that I have now, maybe I wouldn't have made the mistakes I did. Maybe I would have chose differently. It wasn't a reward at the end of the day. It was an eye-opener.
Maybe if people were just there for these homeless people who are drug users at the stage where they really needed it the most. A lot of the time, hey darling, oh thank you very much sweetheart, thank you guys. Basically, you know, a lot of them just, you'll ask them why they don't go into housing. And the reason why they don't go into housing is because you can't take the street away from them. You can't take the footpath away. Yeah, a lot of them don't go in there because it only takes for one person, or you have a worker that has a grudge against you, and you can lose your housing just like that. And so a lot of them, you know, are afraid to go there because they're afraid to get comfortable and start, you know, getting, you know, doing normal stuff, and then for someone to come along and make a complaint or something like that, pretty much they could get evicted like that, then they're back out on the street again. At the end of the day, you can't take the footpath off of them. I'm more happier now with no money. I don't like being here, this sucks, but I would rather be broke than rich. Because at the end of the day, you learn to appreciate things more. You learn to not take things for granted. I definitely don't take shampoo and deodorant for granted anymore. That's for sure, and a clean pair of socks. I definitely don't take all that stuff for granted anymore. And when I do get that stuff, I get really happy. Like, you should see me when I get given a new blanket or a new pair of socks. I'm like, oh, I'm so happy. Like, everyone's looking at me like, oh my God, you just got given a pair of socks. Like, why are you like sitting there jumping up and down, going, ah? Because it's a new pair of fucking socks, bro. It's a new pair of socks. It's clean. And not just that, but, you know, I appreciate that the people went out of their way to come and bring me that pair of socks. They didn't have to.
You know, like, and all I kept saying to myself is, thank you, God, for this chance. I'm going to make a difference. I survived it. These tremendous feelings, lack of breathing, that's so scary. Not being able to breathe, having tubes put on you. These sticky tape things on your chest to monitor your heart rate, and having ultrasounds to make sure your organs are okay. What person can... Yeah, I was so lost. No one visited me. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know if I was going to die. I didn't know if I was going to be released. People didn't want to come near me because I was highly contaminable. You know, like, I felt like an animal in a cage screaming and not knowing what was going on. All these people talking, and I didn't understand them. People saying that you're going to be okay, but you're feeling like you're dying, and they can't give you anything because there's nothing there to give to help you with the symptoms. They were still drafting that up. They were still concocting a medicine for it. They were sending you out with hope, and you don't even want to go. You want to stay where you feel safe, and you want to be around doctors and nurses, so if anything happened, mate, you've got a chance. But I was going to die. I was going to contract this horrible disease I had no knowledge of, and that it was going to shut down my organs, and I was going to die. And there was so much more that I wanted to do in this life before my life ended. It was scary and intense. And the worst was knowing that, man, if I perished, would anyone know? No one would know, because no one knows me. I shut myself off from the world. I become scared. And I pushed so many people away from me. I lost friends. I lost friends that were family. I lost everything, to the point where I sat there and I thought, wow, I've got to make a funeral plan, because if I die, no one's going to know. No one's going to bury me. I'm just going to be some Jane Doe, burnt and disregarded. I'm a person. I want a plaque. I want people at my funeral. I want people to know that I mattered.